What if God was one of us?
One school summer between my sophomore and junior year, I found myself being a bit of a naughty boy. I would sneak out in the middle of the night looking for trouble with friends or meet the girl I liked under a street light down the road from her house. I was dabbling in the dark arts according to the strict moral code of our local church. Well, one night, I thought I was being sneakier than a snake in slippers. I went over to a little kickback that cute girl I'd meet under the street light was having. I had a good old time with her and some of her friends. When I finally meandered my way back home and prepared for a quiet re-entry through the front door, I noticed the lights were on in the living room, which was unusual for 3 a.m., especially considering they were off when I snake and slippers my way out of the house earlier. I knew my life was over. When I walked through the front door, my sweet, worried mother was waiting for me on the other side. After seeing I was okay, that fear and worry she had before turned to anger, and madder than a boiled owl, she grounded me for the entire summer. For one night of fun, my summer was stripped away from me. Side note, after all these years, that one night of fun was super worth losing my summer over. The dark arts ain't always that dark, it turns out. Anyways, my mom printed up a sheet that included a list of things I was not allowed to do, and below that list was another, much shorter list of things I was allowed to do. The list of things I wasn't allowed to do that summer: no driving, no getting picked up by friends, so basically just no cars allowed. She didn't actually put that on the list, but I feel like she could have put that on the list because I wasn't allowed to get picked up, so what was the point of putting not getting picked up by friends and no driving? Just put no cars. That would have been easy. Anyways, I'm not upset. Next thing on the list, no friends over at the house, and I must be home by 7 p.m. every night. The list of things I was allowed to do: eat food, drink water, stare at trees, walk places. Even when she was angry, my mom did always have a little bit of a sense of humor. A little bit of a, man, that's pretty fun to say. Now, I've always been creative when it comes to loopholing the rules. I figured if I followed the things she listed on the sheet, she probably wouldn't catch me doing other things I maybe shouldn't have been doing. Is there an example, you might ask yourself? Absolutely there is. One of the things that probably should have been on the do not do list was invest $17 for a 1-month Blockbuster movie pass. When this thing rolled out, it was sweet. It allowed you to rent 3 DVDs at a time without the worry of late fees, and you can return and pick up as many times as you want within the month that you have the movie pass. For the project I was working on, late fees were not my concern. The part that popped for me was that you could rent and return as many times as you wanted, 3 DVDs at a time. After signing up for Movie Pass, my mission was clear. I threw on my best pair of sneakers and walked the 2 miles to the nearest Blockbuster, shopped around for the DVDs I'd be taking with me, and walked my ass back the 2 miles home. Now bear in mind, where I'm from, the summer temperatures average over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's more than 38 degrees Celsius for you non-American folks. So the 4 miles in the middle of the day was no easy task. That was basically a modern day warrior's task. I don't know why I said warriors like that. Warriors. Anyways, but for the task at hand, it was going to be worth it. I would return home with these 3 DVDs in hand and head straight to my computer. Earlier in the year, my mom had purchased a new HP computer. It was a piece of shit, but for some reason it came with a DVD burner and 100 blank DVDs. There was absolutely no reason for anyone that age to have a DVD burner and 100 blank DVDs. It was likely Best Buy's way of tricking elderly folk into thinking they were getting a real sweet deal. Well, turns out that deal was in fact sweeter than apple pie. Less so for mi madre, more so for me, yo. More so for me. So after I plopped down in front of this brand new HP computer, booted it up, I immediately got to work. At the time, burning a DVD took about as long as it did to watch the DVD, so created a system. Burn 1 DVD, watch 1 DVD, eat food, drink water, and occasionally stare at a tree. When the first DVD was done, I'd take my freshly burned copy and put it in a binder, place the original DVD back in its rental case, rotate in the second DVD, and repeat the previous eat, drink, stare routine. When the third and final DVD was complete, it was back to Blockbuster we go. I did this every day, 2 to 3 times a day for the entire month that I had the movie pass. The Blockbuster employees knew some crime was going down, but the tech I was using at the time was too cutting edge for them to even realize what was happening. By the end of the month, I'd walked over 300 miles and had burned more than 200 DVDs. I'd begged my mom to get 150 more blank DVDs for a quote-unquote project I was working on. Like a secret agent fighting behind enemy lines, I was belly crawling through Blockbuster looking for DVDs to add to my collection. This singular act is what led to the fall of Blockbuster. It was 5 years later, but my trickery and tomfoolery definitely contributed to the fall of Blockbuster. My secret is now our secret. Now, maybe you're wondering why I've waited all these years to share this with you. For 2 reasons. Number 1, Blockbuster can no longer press charges. Number 2, Hollywood Video was superior and deserved more respect than it got. Number 3, if you're a kid who likes getting into a little bit of trouble, don't let getting grounded strip you of your uncanny creativity to still find a little bit of trouble, even if you got to keep it a secret from everyone for a while. The Fall of Blockbuster.